We're just excited about all the program success.
And we're ready to get started. Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. Time for another edition of Between Two Props. Currently joined by Wheeling University head women's rugby coach Ken Pape. And Ken, guys had a break last week, but the week before you get the win in your home tournament. Talk about what that was like to win the first ever tournament you hosted here.
Oh, it was a great experience. We had some really good, quality teams here. We had an NCAA varsity team in Frostburg, and Division I powerhouse Pitt was here, and you just had a really good mixture of teams. And the most important thing for us was to make sure that all of the teams that came had a great time, had a good experience. And as hats off to you and your team for putting it all together and helping us stay on track. And shout out to, the referees did a great job as well. And Christy Schoolcraft and her group taking care of us medically. It was just an overall great day, and it feels amazing to be able to walk out of there with a dub.
And in that tournament, you got a chance to have two sides compete. You had an A side and a B side. What was that like to get some of those girls on the B side some experience against tough competition?
I'll tell you, it was great, right? Because, we come off of a national championship in 15s, and we cut our roster down. We only carry 15 to 16 players for sevens. So we had that as our first side. And then the ladies that wanted to participate in the sevens tournament, we created a second team for them. And, you could see the dramatic skill increase from when they started, at the beginning of the year. You could see them develop and play. Like Lucy Bryant had an out-of-her-mind game. Bree Schmitz had a great game. Linda Dang had a great game. Sierra, like all of them had good games. And it made us go back and look at the players we've already selected for the A side, and we're like, do some of these players need to be moved up? And we did. We moved Bree Schmitz from the second side all the way up to the first side. So she's now part of the first group. And, we're just having really good training sessions. We're having really good culture. So it was fun to have that second side out there.
And one of the girls who took off, Gemily Rivera, she had a big day, scored 3 tries in the championship match. Talk about her and kind of her transition from 15s to 7s.
Well, Zach, it's funny. She said, Coach, you've trained me, all these things. Is but we need to really work on my interviewing skills because, I was scared up there the whole time. So Gemily's just such a good kid. She really works hard. I remember when I was recruiting her, and her and her family went out for dinner, and she's like, she speaks about herself in the third person. It's hilarious. She said, Gemily doesn't work out, Coach. I said, well, Gemily comes here, she's working out. She's like, okay, Coach. And she's been crushing it in the weight room. She's working really hard. Training sessions, she's getting better and better every day. She's learning her running lines correctly. And it really shows. She's an absolute workhorse powerhouse, and she could have easily started in the fall. And, just like some of the other, like Marissa Hudson could have started in the fall. But having that period of time for them to sit on the bench and learn from, Gemily learned from Allie Davis, Marissa gets to learn from Bella Galata. You're talking about 2 kids that are just absolute dynamites. So, having that time for them to develop has really helped, and especially Gemily. She's got her big on the team is Allie Davis, and she's also Allie's backup in 15s. So having that as part of her process has been pretty awesome.
And looking at the B side, you mentioned her a bit ago, Bree Schmidt. She had a big day for that B side. Talk about her and kind of what you saw from her that made her click.
Her defense, Zach, I'll be honest with you, in the fall was kind of, but her defense this past tournament was incredible. She was making these monster hits. I don't think she missed a tackle. She may have Olayed one, but we go back and we looked at the film, and it was kind of an Olay, but she pushed her right into another defender. But she just played really, really solid. She moved the ball effectively. Her big tackling was great. She ran the ball smoothly. It was as if she hasn't missed a game. And you got to remember, she's been out as well with an injury, and that was her first game back after, I'd say, 4 or 5 months. So, seeing her perform was, for her, I know it was an emotional event for her, but it was also emotional for all of us because we all want to see everybody succeed, and seeing her succeed at the weekend was awesome.
You're watching Between Two Props. Zach Ziegler currently with head women's rugby coach Ken Pape. And Ken, as you guys continue through your season, you have a couple of tough tournaments coming up in Brown this week, St. Bonaventure in the future. Talk about playing tough competition and how that's going to prepare you for what you're going to see on the national stage.
I mean, when we went to Frostbite, we played AIC, and they're coached by T. Fletcher, and she's an absolute monster. She's amazing, right? She's one of the best rugby coaches in the country, and to see her, her team and kind of like learn from what they've done and be able to game plan on those types of things was awesome. So playing that tough competition in AIC and such was great, and then getting in again against Penn State, that was great. They've got great coaching over there. And this week, we come out and we play Sacred Heart to start the Brown Sevens. Michelle Reed, another legend in the field. So we're gonna get some really tough competition. I think what makes Wheeling special is our ability to go back and watch game film, analyze as a team, and come up with a game plan for how we're going to do against these teams. And hopefully we get to see Brown in a final. That would be great. Hopefully we get to see AIC again. That would be great, because we can look at it and see if we've grown, and if we haven't, why haven't we grown, and if we have, where did we grow, and where do we need to continue to grow. So I think that playing the tougher competition is really going to be beneficial for us come national championship, right? Because we've already qualified before this even started. We qualified, and we're running groups out there that might not be the CRC group. We're trying to get as many players, as many reps as possible, so that when it comes time to make those decisions, playing against a hard competition, being able to select the right players is going to be key.
And you mentioned playing tough competition. You've already qualified for the CRCs. Talk about some of your goals with that in mind, that you're already making the national stage as you go through this tough tournament schedule.
It's tough, right? Because when you have to qualify for something, you tend to play a little bit harder. So challenging the women to play harder, is the big thing, right? And keep their intensity and keep their confidence going. And they love contact. They love playing AIC. That was the best game for us, especially the second time we played them around. They came out to a quick lead, and we were able to bounce back and fight. Already qualifying could be a detriment, but we're going to try to use it as a positive to get as many people reps as possible. So then we have a really tough decision about who makes that CRC roster. So I think it's good.
And finally, Brown Sevens coming up this weekend. Talk about some of the competition you're going to see and some of the goals for this tournament.
Yeah, we start out of the gates against Sacred Heart. That's going to be a tough game. And, AIC's in our bracket, and you've got Brown, you've got University of New Haven, Davenport's going to be there. A lot of really solid teams that Robert Morris, I believe we played them. So there's a lot of really diverse teams with different skill sets that are really going to challenge us to be multifaceted. We're known as kind of like a smash and dash group. We smash and we can run like crazy. We're going to have to really utilize our skill set and create opportunities for our players. And I think playing in this tournament against different types of teams is really going to help us.
Thanks, Ken. Good luck this weekend. Can't wait to see you out there.
Go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
We're just excited about all the program success.
And we're ready to get started. Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.